This week's report's coming to you from the Cumberland River. It's not the Delta, but at least I'm on the river. So let's take a look at a few pictures of what you guys been doing back on the Delta. I'm going to mosey up to my hotel room and we'll get right back to the In Deep on the Delta weekly fishing report. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. This week's report is for May 22nd, the In Deep on the Delta fishing report. It's coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. Although, as I said in the introduction, I'm not on the Delta, but at least I'm on a river. So I can't wait to get back on the river, the Delta. Let's get into the report. We'll get this thing taken care of, and hopefully by next week or so, I'm going to be back on the river. I'll be able to give you guys a full report on what I'm doing on the river. Today I've got a bunch of reports from a lot of good fishermen, so let's get into them. We'll start off with river conditions, and from what I understand, they have not changed a whole lot since I've been gone in the last 10 days or so. Water temperatures are still hovering around 68 to 70 degrees. I did get some reports from some folks that say the water got up to about 74. Everybody's reporting a lot of wind, anywhere from 15 to 20 daily, sometimes a gust up to a little higher than that, so that's put a little damper on the fishing in the past week. I guess what I would say is, for all the reports that I got, there was a few guys that really did pretty well, but by and large it was kind of a mediocre week. Nothing to do with the with river conditions. Water temperatures are fine, they're holding steady. We've had anywhere from 2 to 8 feet of visibility out there. The tides have not been great in the last week. That's probably why the fishing has been mediocre. So let's get into it. We'll start off with stripers. I talked to Jeff Suhu from Suhu Sport Fishing. He's still catching fish out there. He's saying that the stripers are pretty much spawned out. He believes that there'll be another week or two of good striper fishing, then those fish are going to move back to the bay, and then it'll be another 2 or 3 weeks before we start getting a flush of fish coming back into the river system. I will mention that Jeff, when the stripers move back to the bay, he's going to start doing a little salmon fishing. He'll be running a boat out of the bay. If you guys are interested in maybe hopping on a salmon boat, I'll give you Jeff's number. And we are going to have a salmon season, so if you want to get out on the salt and maybe catch a couple of fish, it's going to be a very short season. Jeff can give you all the information on that. I think they're still hashing it out to how long that season is going to be. But if you want to get out there and book a salmon trip, or maybe book Jeff for stripers when he comes back to the Delta, give Jeff a call at 925-899-4045. With that, let's get right into the largemouth bass. And the report of the week comes from one of my kayak contributors, and unfortunately I can't give the name and I can't give you a full report because my friend, my kayak friend that we'll be talking about, has his own YouTube channel, and he's going to be putting up a video of his day that he told me about. And so let me just tell you what happened with, I'll say, Kayak Angler X, and I'll let you know who this guy is as soon as he gives me the okay to give the information out, and when I know when he has his video out. He went out, had his best day ever. The four biggest fish were a 3.5, a 5.5, a 6.5, and an 8.5, and he caught just tons of 2+ pound fish. Looked like about a 25-pound limit. Picked him up on plastics, and as I say, the video will be out in a week or so. I'll let you. I need to give this guy his due, because it's hard to get a 20-pound plus bag for anybody, but a guy that gets close to a 25-pound bag on a kayak, and he put in about 10 miles, I think, on that particular day that he had that big bag. I got to give him his props. So we'll talk about that maybe next week. Another guy that's done very well is Coach Ted. He's been out there and he has been fishing hard. You guys know that Ted lives on the river, so he gets to go out quite a bit. He knows the river, and he's a solid guy out there. He's using one bait. That bait happens to be a chatterbait, a jackhammer. And when he's fishing, he's saying it is most important to keep that trailer to about 3 inches. Anytime he goes 3.5, 4.5, the bites start to deteriorate for him. He is fishing, doing all of his fishing centered around the high tide, either the last part of the incoming high tide or the first part of the outgo, and you've got about an hour and a half on each side of that to do your damage. He's catching some good-sized fish, decent numbers, and he's catching some nice stripers. I got a picture of Ted up there with a really nice striper. It looked like that one's straight out of the bay. Looked like it'd be a very good eater. I know Ted doesn't keep many of his fish, but he's having really good luck out there. So with that being said, most of the reports that came in were very so-so. I talked to Rob Cloutier from the Bass Hole. I think I talked to him Tuesday. He was out, and he's rating the fishing as just fair. He's catching fish, but he's having you work for him. And you guys know that Rob is a really good fisherman. He's always catching fish out there. Rob is suggesting you put on a chatterbait or a spinnerbait. He's been doing very good with a spinnerbait, especially on the windy days. And Rob is looking for the wind. He's not shying away from it. So get out in that wind. If it's blowing, put on a chatterbait and a spinnerbait and just, go to town. That's Rob's report. I talked to Ed Lewis, the mayor of Paradise Point, and Ed is a retired, I'll call him a weekend fisherman, but he's a guy that fishes probably 3-4 times a week. He knows the Delta. Ed's been getting fish, but just can't seem to find the big fish. He's throwing junk out there. He's catching fish, just not big fish, and he's searching around. So I think that Ed's report kind of mimicked a lot of the reports that I was getting from the weekend anglers that are coming out. They're catching fish, some of them in pretty good numbers, but they're not finding the bigger fish, which is telling you that maybe those big fish that were fairly easy to catch in the last couple weeks that were on a hot spawn during that full moon probably tapered off a little bit. Now there's still fish out there spawning. I have talked to or got reports from guys saying we're not seeing any fish in the shallows anymore. I think those guys may have been in areas that the fish are already done spawning. We all know that these fish are going to continue spawning probably through June. The next full moon they'll be out there again. So don't give up. I think we still have some. This next full moon series, we're going to have some opportunities to, I'm not going to say get some easy big fish, but they're going to be a lot easier to catch than they have been in the last week. So that's Ed's report. I talked to Christian Ostrander. Christian's getting ready to go out to one of his pro-ams. So I think last week he was on the river only one day, and I think he had he said he had 23 or 24 pounds. You guys know Christian. He's always busting a 20-pound bag out there. I think he picked a lot of his fish up. Did I even ask him? I don't know how he picked him up. He could probably pick him up on anything he does out there, but he had a heavy bag, and I think when I get back, Christian invited me out, and he wants to do a little filming, so maybe he will loosen up and talk about some of the ways he's catching these bigger fish. Last but not least, I talked to Joey Price from Priceless Fishing. Joey's been out. He's been doing well, but his deal has not been at high tide. He has been working around low tide, and he's throwing frogs. Now, I talked to Rob. Rob said his topwater bite just hasn't been going. We know that some people are picking fish up on frogs, but Joey's been working low tide, shallow water, and he's throwing frogs. He's also throwing drop shot. He's getting decent numbers of fish, and he's getting some really nice fish on the frogs. If you're looking to hire Joey or want to take Joey out for a guided trip, Joey's number is 925-872-9726, and that's out at Priceless Fishing. So basically, it's a little bit all over the board. Everybody seems to be catching fish. It's just not great fishing out there. You got to work. If I was going to go out and tell you guys what tide to fish, I would say fish that high income or high outgo. If you know the delta and you've got your spots, you can always go out at low tide, throw some frogs, and possibly get some big fish. And it's just kind of your skill level right now to that's gonna dictate how you do. There's not a lot of easy fish out there to catch in this last week. Let's hope when we get these better tides, hopefully in a week or so when I get back home, the fishing will pick up, and then we'll talk about maybe what you could do to go out and get some big fish and get some easy big fish. So with that, I want to thank you guys for keeping up with me, and I guess I'll be back in about 4 or 5 days. I can't wait to get back on the river and get a few fish under my belt. And until then, go out, have some fun, be safe, and good luck. See you guys on the river.